Hey, it's Eastside Dave here from 95.9 The Rat, WRAT FM of the Morning Rat Race. Make sure you listen to Carl and Dave in the morning, each weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Here with my pal here, Stanley Mack, the co-host of the Eastside Dave and Son Wrestling Show, nationally syndicated on B-Pod Studios. And we're here with the legendary, the great Chris Jericho. Chris, how are you? Big victory last night over Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz. You, Jake Hager, and Daniel Garcia. The Jericho Appreciation Society right now on fire. And any thoughts and opinions from last night's Dynamite where you guys were absolutely victorious?
Yeah, I mean, it was. It's been going really well. This kind of new story and this new gang, and I kind of knew that there'd be some great chemistry there, just from the guys, how they were working prior to being in the Jericho Appreciation Society. And obviously, I know Jake Hager's one of the most underrated guys in the business, so I wanted to definitely include him in there. And Matt Menard and Cool Hand Ange, and of course Danny Garcia have been doing some great stuff right out of the gate. It's only been 3, 4, 5 weeks, and you can already see the impact that the JAS has made. So it's been pretty cool so far.
You, of course, were the first AEW World Champion. Any thoughts of reclaiming that championship? I mean, again, it just seems like right now it's all guns blazing with Chris Jericho. You really seem like you're on fire, and it seems like a world championship not out of reach.
Well, to me, it's the storylines that are the most important thing, and how you can grab the audience and connect with the crowd. And sometimes the champion has the best story in the company, and sometimes they don't. And I think for us right now, we've got so many cool things coming up and so many ideas that it's always great to be the world champion, but a lot of times you don't need it. You know what I mean? So I think our storyline is strong enough to kind of go beyond that, even go beyond the world champion. I mean, if you look right now where Hangman Page is with Adam Cole, I think the Jericho Appreciation Society is much more the talk of the town. So yeah, it's always good to be the world champion, but to me it's also more important and most important just to have a great story that connects with the audience and gets them involved in what you're doing.
Stanley, this is Chris. This is my partner, Stanley Mack. He's my co-host. He's the good guy of the show. Yeah. I'm the hated one. Stan, any questions for Chris here?
Actually, yes. I was wondering, since obviously you've had 2 different theme songs, I was wondering which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the Break the Laws or Judas?
Judas for sure, by far. Yeah, I can't even envision coming out to Break the Walls anymore. That's a good question, by the way. Very good host here. Yeah, I think Judas is it fits better for where I'm at right now, and the fact that it's our song, it's a Fozzy song that we wrote and we recorded, just makes it even extra cool because nobody else has that. You know what I mean? And people sing along with Punk's song, for example, or Jungle Boy's song, but those are songs recorded by other people. We actually recorded Judas, and had a big hit with it before I started using it as ring music, and then when I started using it for music, it just went through the roof to, as you saw last night, the song went gold, which is huge to have a gold record.
I mean, I can tell you on playing on the Rat, we're still playing the heck out of Judas. It's getting tons of spins, and it's because people call up requested all the time.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things that once you have a song that kind of gets into the fabric of the pop culture, it goes beyond, not that it's, you shook me all night long, but you hear shook me all night long for the rest of our lives. They'll play it whenever. It doesn't have to be in the charts.
It's true, though.
And Judas kind of has that, especially due to the fact that we hear it every week on a national, television program in front of 1 million people. So all that stuff counts, and it adds to the whole presentation and package. And when we started the JAS, and people were like, "Why are you still using Judas? People like it so much, and you guys are bad guys." And it's like, well, you could stop using it and get that 1 week reaction of like, "We're not going to let you hear Judas or sing Judas, haha," and there's some boos. But then in the long run, you're taking away one of the coolest, most unique parts of our show, which is the fact that people just love singing that song. So I think it kind of transcends heel or babyface, good guy or bad guy. It's just a cool moment and a very unique part of our AW show that people tune in to check out and see and be a part of.
It's an incredible experience. We were at the Prudential Center, and the entire place was singing. The night where the people were singing a cappella, I actually pulled that video, put it on our website, and it was one of the biggest websites of the week. I mean, one of the biggest videos of the week. It was something that I showed Robin, who I believe you talked to today on the Rat, and she was getting goosebumps. She, I'm a massive wrestling fan, but you don't have to be a wrestling fan to appreciate that moment of 15,000 people singing Judas a cappella. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that we was in Houston, and we had the idea of, MJF doesn't allow me to use the ring music. And so we thought, well, let's see what happens, and some people were suggesting, well, maybe you should put like the lyrics on the screen or put lyric sheets under the people's chairs. And Tony Khan and I said, didn't feel right. Let's just see what happens, Wow. If it works, it'll be one of the coolest moments ever. If it doesn't, well, then MJF's plan came to fruition. He screwed me, And it took about 2 lines before the entire crowd was locked in and singing it perfectly, and everyone knew all the words. And it was one of the coolest moments of my career for sure.
Amazing moment. Stan, you got something else for Chris? And then we gotta let Chris go. He's gonna put on a massive rock show today.
Yeah. So how do you think that this obviously since you've been in war before, but how do you feel like this is different than the WWE versus
AEW?
How does AEW feel different from WWE?
Yeah.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
I mean, they're both great. Both have different ways of doing things. I think AEW gives you a little bit more freedom as a professional to be creative. WWE is much more regimented in how they do things. Interviews, for example, promos are very strictly approved by Vince McMahon, every word, every sentence. Whereas AEW, you just go and kind of say what you feel. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like our show, because it's a little bit more honest, maybe a little bit more realism. But I loved working for WWE, and I love working for AEW as well for different reasons. But I think the biggest one is you just get to be a little bit more creative in it.
You feel like the live energy is a little bit better at AEW in terms of the weekly, the television show. One of the things that I definitely respond to, and I watch everything, is the live sort of feel, the unpredictable feel of it, of AEW. There is an energy there that, with the other show, it's got all of its stars and stuff like that, but it does seem sometimes a little plastic, like, and just a little, and as opposed to AEW, which has a more live kind of, you never know what's going to happen feel to it.
I don't know. I mean, obviously WWE is so huge and so massive that they have a fan base like no other. And maybe because our fan base is a little bit more in the know, maybe. I mean, last night in New Orleans, you have Minoru Suzuki in the main event, and everyone knows who he is. Mm-hmm. If you stuck Suzuki out in a WWE show, some people would know who he was, and other people like, who's this crazy-looking Japanese guy? So I think our fans are a little bit more AEW-centric, which is great, but the real task is converting new fans, and you do that just by putting on great stories and having great shows that with beginning and middle and end and awesome matches. But like I said, it always goes back to the stories. That's the most important thing in wrestling, is how you connect with the audience to get them to want to pay and watch what you're doing. And that's all the storytelling, like I keep saying over and over again. So I think maybe if there is a difference in the fan base, just that ours are a little bit crazier because it's a little bit more of a, not a cult or a revolution, but if you're there, like I've been a Metallica fan since 1984, so I've always had a special connection with Metallica because I grew up with them. I was there from the start, and as huge as they are, which is amazing, they converted people that weren't Metallica fans at first. That's what AEW has to do. But I still always have a little bit of like, yeah, that's my band. Those are my guys. And I think a lot of our fans feel the same because they started with us. Nobody started with the WWE because the WWE started in the 40s. I mean, there might be some people left over that were there at the beginning, but not a lot. So I think that's the difference too. A little bit more ardent, and almost like your favorite football team or your favorite hockey team, you really feel an extra kindredship with them because you were there and supporting them right out of the gate.
Well, it's been Chris Jericho, one of the absolute greatest of all time. Chris, I also want to say Stanley and I will volunteer as the first podcast ever to go into the Jericho Appreciation Society if you'll have us. Yeah, we're in the media wing, and if you'll have us, and if not, we still support you. You are he's one of the legends of all time. Oh, real quick, love your podcast. I'm a massive Guns N' Roses fan, so I just wanted to say thank you for the Duff McKagan joke of the week. It's really spectacular.
We're coming up in a couple weeks with Max Creeps, and if you haven't heard of it, you will pretty soon.
We actually were all about the Max Creeps story yesterday. So what's the deal with this? I actually brought
one of the greatest punk rock bands of all time, kind of an underground band. Okay. Very highly influential, and they broke up, which caused a big rift. I was talking to my friend Slash about it. We couldn't believe that the Max Creeps broke up, but then they just announced today that they're back together and putting out a new record. So
it's pretty impressive. It was impressive because I saw quotes from so many people, including yourself, Green Day, Slash, but I've never heard of.
Yeah, you're going to hear of them now. They're going to come back. Okay. So.
The great Chris Jericho. Make sure you're watching AEW Dynamite, and we got to thank you again. It's been an absolute honor. We've been following you for years. Stanley, say something to Chris on his way out.
Thank you for everything.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.